Okay, and I'm sorry, I'm going to apologize here. I made a huge mistake. Here, the year 2015 should have been 115. So I'm very sorry for that. This we need to change to 115. It kind of made sense after I did the last problem. So this should have been 115 for the year. But the answer is correct because I was looking at the book. Anyways, for this one, the year 120, x equals 120 will represent the year 2020. And so at that year, the wine consumption will reach this much, which is 1.1 billion gallons of wine. A little crazy. Now let's go ahead and finish example 6. And this is kind of similar to example 5. So for this one, I also graphed the functions. But let's look at the problem first. So here our x corresponds to the year in which the insurance company collected some data on the assets in billions of dollars. So our input is here, the year. And our output will be here, the assets in billions of dollars. So the graph is here, the function. And so what were the approximate assets of AIG in 2007 prior to the Great Recession? And if you guys remember, this was one of the companies that went bankrupt. And you can see how the graph is decreasing. So that is exponential decay. And that's probably why they had some issues. So that is why you can see how the exponent has a negative in front of it. And so to contrary of our previous problem, that we were dealing with that exponential growth, and that was the wine consumption. Now this one is exponential decay. So the assets for the year 2007, we will find x equals 7. So then it will be, and here I'm not going to use f because they're actually calling my function a. So I'm going to say a of 7 will be 1756 e to the power negative 0.091, and then instead of x, I'm going to substitute that with a 7, and then we will enter that on the calculator. Then for the next one that we have here, that will be for the year 2015. And so for that, we will use x equals 15. So I want you guys to practice how to enter it on your calculator so that you check that you're getting the same numbers as I am. Remember here we're substituting with 15 for the year 2015. Okay, so in 2007, their assets were approximately 928.7. The units here were billion. And for the year 2015, they went down, they decreased to 448.4 billion. And those two are the answers for part A. Now for part B, we also need to use technology. So you already see the graph here. And we want to know when in what year they fell below 600 billion. And so, similar to the previous problem, we're going to graph the line y equals 600, and that's what you see here, this horizontal line. And then we will also graph the other one, the exponential function that was given to us at the beginning of the problem. So we'll graph those two. I have them here. That's the previous problem. So that is our graph, those two. The one in blue is our exponential one, and this in red is the 600 billion. Now I'm going to do the same thing. So for you guys, you will press menu on your calculator or calculate, and then we will analyze the graph, and then I'm going to find the intersection. Lower bound, I want to move that line so it's on the left side, not the right side, but the left side of my target point, my intersection point. And then upper bound, as you can see on the lower left corner of my iPad, I'm going to move that line so it's on the right side of my target point. And we can see here the intersection happens at 11.8. Now remember that we are talking about years. So that 11.8 is going to have to be rounded to 12. And so we do this for two reasons. One, because 11.8 is closer to 12, right? But the question also says below 600. So in we can't say the year 11.8. I mean, of course, it could be like 2011 and some months, right? However, at that time, it was exactly 600 billion. So if we want to know when it was below 600 billion, it will be after this year. And so that's why we round up to the year 2x equals 12, which corresponds to the year 2012. And so